At Autocar, we are always out to chase a good story, even if it means that the car is not coming to India, but it's one that everyone wants to know about. I drove all the way to Surat to bring this story to you. So finally, it's official. Tesla will come to India. They've set up an office in Bangalore and they will produce and sell cars here. To give you a flavor of what to expect, we have this here with us, the insane Model X with its crazy falcon wing doors. Hit celebration mode and this is what happens. Have to say, someone at Tesla has a great sense of humor. Also different is how you get going. To start, all you need to do is put your foot on the brake, which even closes the driver's door. And then select D on the Mercedes-Benz like stock, and all you have to do is drive away. There's no starter button. The driving experience is quite unique. You're sat in this bubble glass cockpit, and it even has helicopter-like sun visors that click into place magnetically. Now this 2018 Model X 100D has a power output of 518 horsepower. The most powerful 2021 model, the Blade, makes 1020. Now with the road ahead empty, I'm going to get my first sort of taste of the acceleration of the X. Whoa! Wow, it's just taken off and it's sustaining. Crazy. This is pretty incredible. Electric cars, no, they're not as dull as they're made out to be. I'm sorry, I just have to do that again. Whoa! Just throws you back in the seat and then acceleration is sustained pretty well. Wow, that's a big number. Time to slow down. And this massive torque is just addictive. Whew. It's like falling downhill. A quick V-box round with the car in standard mode proves how quick the Tesla is. 0 to 100 comes up in just 4.4 seconds. And that's well into performance SUV territory. Can you imagine what the 1000 horsepower Model X will be like? Now pulling the X hard does have an effect on the range. The interesting bit is you can see the range drop every single time you do that. Then there's the refinement. Of course, the great part about any electric, even a big heavy one like this, is that when you're cruising, it's absolutely silent. In fact, you can hear me even if I whisper. It's that refined. All you hear are the tires and the creak of the leather seats. There is a bit of whine to the motor, and when you put your foot down, it becomes a bit louder. But it's not a bad sound, it's not something you dislike. It in fact adds to that whole experience. Despite being an electric, the controls are also nicely weighted and they feel pretty natural. For all its bulk, the X is pretty easy to drive. You don't feel the size as much, the steering is nice and direct, and after a couple of minutes, it just feels like a regular car. Handling, however, is inert. The Model X has body roll well under control, and for all its bulk, it feels relatively light on its feet. Still, this isn't an SUV that goads you into cornering harder and faster. In fact, up the pace in corners, and it sort of starts feeling uncomfortable. Despite having air suspension, the Model X's ride is also firm. Now with that massive battery between the wheels and all that weight pressing down, The suspension has to be stiff enough to take the weight, and that's the reason for this stiff, slightly fidgety ride. It isn't uncomfortable per se, but it's busy, it's always on the move, and even small bumps tend to register, especially at low speeds. Unlike most SUVs, the Model X has a low nose or bonnet, and this is to help with aerodynamic drag. And then, since there's no big radiator, the nose is clean, and this, along with the low set roof, helps make the X one of the slipperiest SUVs around. The design is also nice and clean without too many unnecessary details around, and those thick daytime running lamps stand out like white kajal. Around the rear, the design of the X is more BMW X6-like, with a fastback rear. The taillights, however, are rather ordinary and look like they've been plucked from someone else's parts bin. Truth be told, the X is hardly an off-roader. When it's at its normal height, you have to be careful over speed breakers. Luckily, the air springs can raise it to 211 mm. Not bad, as the X weighs a considerable 2.5 tons. A lot of that weight comes from the massive lithium-ion battery pack. The bigger battery packs weigh close to 600 kilos. All Model X's get electric four-wheel drive, a pair of Tesla motors at each axle providing the power. And interestingly, the Model X Plaid gets 3 motors. For 2021, the Tesla Model X gets a new minimalist dashboard, but that high-tech look is carried forward from this original. Now, the Model X is an SUV, but the kind of feel you get inside with this panoramic windscreen and the massive tablet up front with the leather and carbon fiber is just very different from anything else. It's not overtly luxurious like a Mercedes or Bentley or something like that, but it's very different. It's techy, it's modern, and it has its own charm. Other cool features on the screen include real-time pictograms of the car with the doors opening and closing. And there's loads of things here to keep the child in you entertained. And these, of course, are the Model X's insanely great Falcon wing doors. Now, what they allow you to do is get in with this kind of hatch that makes it look like a sci-fi movie. As you can see, this is a 6-seater with a huge amount of space in between. It's very comfortable and quite different. It's almost like sitting in your own business jet. This clearly isn't your regular luxury SUV. Now, as with all 6 and 7-seaters, the third row isn't too comfortable. You're sat low, the seat is small, and legroom, if you adjust the seat up ahead, is just about sufficient. But luckily, you get this huge space between the 2 seats, so if you need to, you can stretch your legs out. So yes, while it is quirky, it does work, and it's quite practical. Tesla's Model X is like no other luxury SUV. Smooth, easy to drive, and in possession of plenty of electric grunt. It is quick and entertaining. No, it isn't an SUV that enjoys being cornered hard. The ride is a bit stiff, and the cabin isn't up to quality standards seen on German luxury cars. What makes the Model X genuinely refreshing is that it is also very different. The Falcon wing doors play a big role, the unique seating position is clever, and then there's that big touchscreen that has so much tech packed in, it makes for a great experience. There's no clear indication of when the Model X will go on sale here or what it will be priced at. We expect a price of around 1.5 crore. But once it's here, if you're looking for something that's genuinely different, have the ability to install a charger at home, and don't mind dealing with some of its quirks, Tesla's out-of-the-box take on an SUV is a refreshing breath of fresh air. Something very different.